Nervous energy hummed through the Andromedian Institute of Advanced Sciences as Professor Cale Thera turned on the holographic exhibit in Hall 7 of the Theory of Physics. Her crystalline voice reverberated through the amphitheater as she announced that today's lecture would cover the Velar paradox, a mathematical conundrum that had baffled the brightest minds of galactic civilization for more than 1,000 students. Today, we look at one of the universe's most enduring mysteries. In the middle of the hall, the three-dimensional equation came to life, with its intricate variables and impossibly long relationships spanning several dimensions. Numerous highly developed civilizations' mathematical symbols blended together in a way that appeared to parody logic itself. The Velar paradox. Professor Cale Thera went on to explain the theoretical relationship between gravitational time dilatation and quantum consciousness during faster-than-light travel. For a millennium, the brightest minds in mathematics have tried to solve these equations on the back row. The first human exchange student at the Institute, Marcus Chen, raised his head from his tablet, where he had been taking notes. The paradox implies that the 19-year-old Earthling had been attending lessons discreetly for 3 months, prompting his presence to cause frequent rumors among his alien classmates. According to Professor Cale Thor, during FTL jumps, consciousness itself causes temporal distortions that make it impossible to navigate more than a certain point. For the entirety of our documented history, this has essentially constrained galactic growth. The Dean of Theoretical Mathematics at the Institute, Dr. Zixian, appeared as a hologram next to the professor. See how the awareness variable defies integration with the relativistic framework as his gaseous shape flashed with agitation. This mathematical problem has been judged unsolvable by 17 distinct species. Marcus held up his hand. For 3 months, the lecture hall was silent, and since the student had never spoken in class, many people assumed he couldn't understand the complex math being covered. "Yes, Mr. Chen," interrupted Professor Cathara. Remarked Marcus, getting to his feet and gesturing toward the holographic equation. "I believe there is a mistake in the foundational assumption." The gaseous shape of Dr. Zixian darkened with what seemed to be Mr. Chen's displeasure as the stillness dragged uneasily. Mathematical science from 47 star systems have confirmed this equation. Perhaps you should take awareness as a universal constant. Marcus stopped as he was making his way to the display, but since consciousness is quantum-based and observer-dependent, it cannot be integrated with classical relativistic equations because the incorrect mathematical framework is being used. Since consciousness functions in quantum superposition, you must extend it into higher dimensional Hilbert space and apply observer effect corrections. Professor Cale Thera's compound eyes were fixed on the human with fresh attention as Marcus approached the hologram and gestured at the central variables. He took out his tablet and started quickly entering computations on Earth. In quantum theory, this is known as the measurement problem, and it is resolved by viewing consciousness as a dynamic observer function that collapses probability waves rather than as a constant. As Marcus's calculations showed on the main screen, the alien professors exchanged puzzled looks. His method was unlike from anything in the galaxy mathematical tradition. It was rudimentary by their standards, yet followed an internal logic that they couldn't fully understand. This is basic quantum theory. We figured this out back in the 21st century. All you have to do is apply the Copenhagen interpretation to relativistic frames and account for consciousness as a quantum observer rather than a classical participant, Marcus continued, oblivious to the mounting tension in the room. As Marcus entered his corrections, variables that had been steadfastly incompatible for a millennium suddenly began to align, and the mathematically impossible relationships started to resolve themselves into graceful, practical solutions. "Impossible," whispered Dr. Zixian, his gaseous form beginning to flicker with concern. "Not impossible," Marcus answered cheerfully. "Just incomplete. You guys have been trying to solve quantum problems with classical math. It's like trying to describe color to someone using only black and white." The last computation was completed, and the holographic display revealed a fully mathematically consistent solution to the Veltar paradox, something that had never been seen before. Students started laughing, gasping, and their species equivalent of shock caused the lecture hall to erupt in mayhem. The crystallized body of Professor Keth Thara started to resonate at frequencies that alluded to either ecstasy or fear. "Do you understand what you've just done?" Dr. Zixian requested his whole gaseous body, which was now vibrating with anxiety. Marcus gazed around in astonishment at the aliens who were terrified. "I solved the homework problem. This isn't homework." For millennia, this conundrum has constrained galactic civilization, according to Professor Kethra. Our entire comprehension of FTL travel, our growth, and our technical advancement have all been limited by this intractable equation. "Oh," Marcus added, starting to realize the scope of what had just transpired. "Is this good?" Dr. Zixian was using his neural interface to communicate with someone quickly. "An urgent meeting of the Galactic Science Council is being called. Mr. Chen Yu might have just changed space travel more quickly than light for all known species." "Does this mean I get extra credit?" Marcus asked. Professor Keth Thara stared at him for a long moment. "What kind of educational system does Earth have, Mr. Chen? You just solved a puzzle that has baffled galaxy civilization since before your species found fire." Marcus gave a rather typical shrug. The quiet that ensued was deafening, so I suppose this is just basic quantum mechanics that we learn in high school. Dr. Zixian whispered. "Yeah, for teenagers, we cover quantum theory, relativity, basic consciousness, studies standard curriculum for 14-year-olds. Professor Kil Thera's form began resonating at a frequency that Marcus was learning indicated. Extreme distress, your species teaches quantum consciousness. Integration to children. Well, yeah, how else would they understand how their smartphones work? As news of the humans' breakthrough spread across the galaxy, the galactic scientific community realized more and more that they had drastically misjudged human education as well as intelligence. The most developed civilizations in the cosmos thought it was impossible for the primitive species of Earth to teach concepts as part of their fundamental curriculum. The consequences of theoretical physics were astounding, and Marcus Chen, who was only trying to pass his physics class, unintentionally set off a galactic paradigm shift. As the alien instructors around him continued to worry, he inquired as to when the next assignment was due.